Alright, what's up everybody? It is Carl's Collects Comics and I'm back with another episode of Monday Hauls. This is the web series where I show you my last week to week and a half's worth of comic book pickups. And I've got some really cool ones to share with you this week, so stay tuned. So here we are. It is episode number 32 of Monday Hauls. I'm excited. Let's dive right into it, starting with the book that is this week's hot book. It's the one that everybody's trying to get a hold of. Special shout out to my friends over at the Comic Vault in Houston, Texas, for setting aside a copy of this book. I hadn't even realized it was coming out, but it is Thor Number 20. This is the A cover for this book. I'm looking forward to reading this because of the new character and a reveal that's going on with it. They were nice enough to set aside a copy for me, and so big shout out to them and big thanks to them for doing that. So I was able to pick this up. I like the Timeless cover the Timeless cover B last week. I didn't even realize these books were coming out, and had just kind of overlooked them as I've been setting up some goals and some other stuff for the new year. And so big shout out to them for picking this up for me and setting it aside. Also, letting you know, I have two local comic shops. Big shout out to Bedrock for some of these cool books. I had pre-ordered the. Now I've shared before with you that I'm a Bad Idea fan. Not all the crazy marketing gimmicks and all that stuff. I'm not buying invisible comics in empty slabs and all that kind of stuff, but I really am a huge fan of the production quality, the art quality, the story quality, and just everything that they're doing, because they've got some great content that they're putting out. I'm really hoping to see where they go with it next, that it's going to be just even bigger and more exciting for all of the fans. So I got issue number 3 of Odin's Eye, pristine condition. That was part of my pickups, or part of the final 5 pre-order. I picked up 1 and 2, and really, it's just beautiful stuff. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Another independent series that I picked up, I'd mentioned it to y'all before. I went ahead. It's not on my pull list, but it is a book that I'm picking up as they come out. And like Seven Swords, I'm enjoying. I really enjoyed the first issue, so I went ahead and picked up issue number 2 of Cross to Bear, and then I also picked up issue number 3 of Cross to Bear. So very excited about those and reading those, seeing where the story goes. Also, another independent hit that of course everybody is getting these right now. I only got a couple of the variants, and it was too many covers for me to keep up with. I know some people in some of the Facebook groups for Stray Dogs have shown the stacks of packages that are arriving as all the variants are shipping out. Look, I just went for cover A and cover B, and that's and a couple. There was a couple of ones online that I was fortunate enough to send in money for and get on the list for them. But you can't get them all. It's just not possible. So I got Stray Dogs number 1, or Stray Dogs Dog Days number 1, cover A, and I went ahead and picked up the cover B. And this one does have a little dent on it that I just noticed, but I think it'll press out. But really, because there's such a massive print run on this follow-up / prequel 2-issue series. I'm not looking at them as much a collectible aspect as I am about just finishing out the run that I already have with this piece. So there's that. Last one. This is a surprise little fun story. Justice League Incarnate. This is number 3. This is kind of the DC version of Avengers of the Multiverse. Everybody's doing the multiverse right now, so that's the big thing. So this is kind of a cool story. Lots of neat interesting characters that they're throwing in there. And so I'm along for the ride on that one. I'm looking forward to going all the way through issue 5 and following along, just to see where it goes and see what they do with it. I could see them continuing the property on. I think they ran it as a miniseries just to see what kind of traction it would get. And that's a cool story. It's a cool story. It's well worth picking up. So the big 3 books that I'm sure many of you are watching this video to learn more about, I had posted on my Instagram. And this is one of those situations, just like with, when you have a strong relationship with a local comic shop and you just, you're friendly with the people, you pick up your pull list on time and you continue to buy books from them, and you don't try to, haggle too much on pricing and stuff. And if it's a professional shop, you can find some really, really great deals, and especially if you're looking for certain books. So my Friday video from last week outlined my collecting goals for 2022. What this does is this helps me, as I explained then, this helps me focus on the books that I really want, and helps me A, save my money for them, and B, it gives me a target so that when I'm out in the wild and I come across one of those books, it's an easier decision-making process for me. I don't get caught up thinking about it. I know immediately that's on my list. Let me check it out. If the price matches up with the condition, or if it's, if it doesn't but it's a really good deal, I will go ahead and pick it up. And so that's one of the situations that occurred here. One of the books on my list was The Incredible Hulk, number 102. For those who've been following the channel for a while, you know that I originally did have this book in a slabbed 3.5, in a CGC 3.5 slab, but we were doing the Hero Initiative charity auction over on the Strictly Comics channel, and I just felt led to give up that personal collection book. It was never meant to be sold. It was something that I gave up to contribute to that auction to help raise money for the Hero Initiative, which is a great organization that helps creators who have not been fairly or equitably compensated in the past. So when in the present, when they're maybe past their prime or they're older and they're not able to take care of themselves financially, that organization steps in and helps with that. And I feel like that's a very solid cause. So that's why I gave up a personal book like this. Well, I kept my eye on it, and so I decided to add it to the list for 2022 as a collecting goal. And so before the video even before I even shot the video, I picked this book up because when I walked into the store and it was up on the wall, I knew immediately, okay, that's one of my books. And if the price matches up with the grade, and if it is, if the price is where I can go ahead and take it out take it right now, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So so this Incredible Hulk number 102, they had it graded at about 3.0, which I do agree with. It does have a really wicked spine roll to it. The staples are solid, but it does have, it's got a lot of creasing. Obviously, it's not even a mid, it is a little bit lower grade book, but I thought it presented beautifully. And the spine roll, I think, is something that one of my pressers can get out. And really this is more of just an availability thing than it is a preference thing, because some of them, are just really, really busy. So this is one that will go to a presser, but it's going to stay in the personal collection, and I'm probably going to keep it raw. I don't see a need at this point anytime soon to grade it, but I will get it pressed simply because I want to get this spine roll, and I'll show this off right now. I want to get the spine roll straightened out on it. So I don't know if you can see it very well there. It's got, it might be blurry, I don't know, but it's got a wicked spine roll to it. I don't know if you can't really see that, but it does. It's rolled over pretty bad, but I think it can be straightened out, especially if a humidifier kind of softens it up and then they roll it back. They know what they're doing. I don't know how to press books. I'm not a presser. There's some really great guys that I utilize for that. But yeah, so I did. So it was listed at 3.0, and it was listed for $40. So I went ahead and bought it, and because to me, a lower grade, low grade's better than no grade. Number one, and number two, a book that is $50 or under is to me is more of a quick pickup type of book, just based on the budget that I'm working with on a monthly basis. So I did go and get it. I felt like that was a fair deal, and I felt like it was well worth picking up because it was on my list. So surprisingly, this book is not a very heavy price tag book. I know I was perusing some copies of it, some slabbed copies already over on Shortboxed. And I saw that, let's see, I've got it pulled up. So, okay, so I found 3 copies of it. An 8.0 CGC slab was only $550. A 5.5 slab was only $349. And another 5.5 was $375. So I felt like for $40, that was, it was a no-brainer. I thought it was a great price for the book, so I went ahead and picked it up. But it wasn't the only one, because there was a stack of books there, and this comes back to having a good relationship, where I said I could just flip through a stack and say, hey, I noticed you guys didn't have these out for display yet. Are they for sale? And they said, yeah. And so also in that stack was Detective Comics number 400. This is the first appearance of Man-Bat. The story with this one is that when I got my copy of Detective Comics number 359, which is the first appearance of Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, there was 2 books that had hole punches in them and were from the same collection. This one. It was another copy of this. They were beautiful copies, but they had 2 hole punches in each of them. I went ahead and immediately snagged the Detective Comics 359 because that was on my list for that year. I think that was like 2 years ago, and I just immediately grabbed it. But financially, I couldn't quite get to the point where I could take home the number 400. And I've always, it's been about 2 years, and I've always thought about that. But man, I wish I had just gone ahead and just added it in and just gone for it and like put it on layaway or something. It's just one of those ones I considered, man, it got away. It's a book that got away, and we all have stories like that. So I was pleasantly surprised to see this copy. Now, this is a very low-grade copy. They had this at about a 1.8, but it was only $15 for a 1.8, and I couldn't pass that up. Now, it does have some rippling from some moisture damage. It has chipping across the top. It has a lot of little, just kind of broken up pieces and missing sections, little small sections across the bottom and top. But again, to add a book like this to the personal collection for $15, again, it was just a no-brainer. It was something that I said, I'm absolutely going to pick that book up, because at some point I may decide to upgrade, but for right now I have this book in my collection and it's there. And so that I can, when I flip through, there's not a hole at number 400 anymore. So that was another one that I just said, man, this is great. I'm absolutely picking this up. I felt like incredibly fair price, even for something that was a 1.8 to 2.0. I still felt like, hey, that's a great price for that book. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. And also because I know that, the moisture damage, I think, some of that can be taken out by some of the pressing process, which will help to preserve it. But yeah, so that was my second bigger pickup from that. And the last one was Marvel Spotlight number 2, which, as most of you know, is the first appearance of Werewolf by Night. A lot of you may or may not know that I do already have a copy of this book. So this is the one I picked up. This is the other one. Okay. So now the thing about the one that I currently have is that it has a detached cover. I did pay a premium for it just to get it back. I've owned this book now 3 separate times at 3 different points. But this one with a detached cover, I have an experiment that I'm looking to do at some point, maybe this year. But reproduction covers that are a color splash reproduction covers is something I've become very interested in. So I'm actually looking at this coverless one, taking it, putting a reproduction color splash cover on it and permanently affixing it to this book, thereby removing the chance that it'll ever get a blue label if it was ever graded. But you know, I mean, at that point it becomes the ultimate personal collection book, because there's nothing I can do with it after that, other than appreciate it. And I'm sure other people would appreciate it too, but you know. But so this one, even though they had it listed as a 1.8, it does still have the cover attached. I looked at it and flipped it through. Also has the rippling from some kind of moisture damage, but this one was listed at $20, and I was absolutely not going to pass it up. So you know, this was a chance to add to the personal collection an original copy, so that now I'm free to take the cover detached copy and do my experiment with the with the reproduction cover. So I'll keep you guys in the loop on that if I decide to do it, and let you know what I'm how I'm going about with it. So those are the pickups for this week. This has been Monday Hauls. This is the series where I share with you my pickups from the last week to week and a half. Hey, make sure to like this video, drop a comment, tell me what you think of my ideas about these books. Tell me if you think I did good on the pricing on them. Also, let me know what you think of the recent pickups. Is there anything I missed out on? I know I missed out on Timeless one, the Timeless variant cover. You know, it is what it is. But I want to hear from you. And as always, if you take the time to leave a comment, I will take the time to respond to each and every comment, because I am so excited that you took the time to interact and help build this community in our corner of the YouTube comic community. Also consider hitting the notification bell so that our live show on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Central only goes from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central. The giveaway show every Wednesday from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. we are on, and we just give away books, and we have a great panel. We're going to have a special guest this week who's going to sit in with us, and we're going to talk a little bit more about CGC, because people had questions about that, and see the CGC submission process. I'm also going to showcase the next books that I'm going to be sending in for my next CGC submission. And above everything else, please consider subscribing. It's a tremendous help to the channel. As of the recording of this video, we were at 520 subscribers. Once we break 600 subscribers, our next big giveaway happens. We're doing small giveaways every week on the giveaway show, but our next big giveaway is going to top the last big giveaway, which was the Nerdstalgia comic displays, the stands from comic displays, or from Nerdstalgia, the comic clear backing boards, and the copy of Something is Killing the Children #1, the foil edition. The next giveaway at 600 is going to be even bigger and even better. So stay tuned for that one. Thanks again for tuning in. This is Carlos Collects Comics, and this has been another episode of Monday Hauls. We'll see you next time.